Yeah. Whew. My coach. Family. Yeah. For real. Whew. Yeah. How you gon' say we relate when we can never relate? How you gon' say we relate when we can never relate? How you gon' say we related when we can never relate? How you gon' say we related when we can never relate? How you gon' say we related when we can never relate? How you gon' say we related when we can never relate? How you gon' say we related when we can never relate? How you gon' say we related when we can never relate? Who is my mother, my brother? They do the will of my father. I studied the law like a lawyer. Applying the law make it royal. The world is so overrated. I don't see what is the biggie. Everybody said they made it. Cut it, spent a couple pennies. Piece of who will give me plenty. Negative, get a shit. You should learn how to look. Who the true, who the crook. If it's right, why you hiding? Who said be a lie? Death is lurking, but I'm driving. Had to switch on the price. Nobody's playing somebody's. Hey, what's really going on? A pure soul in this body. Couldn't fit it in a clone. They say my face is like a stone. Tell them all I mean business. Everybody say you're wrong before they ever take a list. If it's yours, I don't want it. I don't touch it unless I own it. You should get it by your who. All that other stuff is phony. Lost religion, found a coach. No explain, watch me do it. Watch the fire, it'll roast. Grown man should've knew it. How you gon' say we relate when we can never relate? How you gon' say we relate when we can never relate? How you gon' say we related when we can never relate? How you gon' say we related when we can never relate? How you gon' say we related when we can never relate? How you gon' say we related when we can never relate? How you gon' say we related when we can never relate? How you gon' say we related when we can never relate? Never relate.
All right, y'all. Shalom, shalom, shalom. It's Michael Israel, and in the building, he's in the studio, is Elder Rufus, a.k.a. the Verbal Lacerator. Shalom, Elder Rufus.
Shabbat.
Good to have you in here.
Shabbat shalom. Bless you. Thank you.
All right.
Get the dog, beloved.
Our little vicious attack dog, Thule, the bootlicker. But anyway, so Elder Rufus is in the studio. What we're gonna be doing today, man? We're gonna be, of course, we're gonna go over a couple current events. You know, there's been a couple things going on this week. I'm sure you know. Of course, we're gonna get Elder Rufus's. He's going to weigh in on a lot of stuff, and we're going to also be doing question and answers. So if you got questions for him, especially all y'all phantom brews who be watching in the background getting emotional, ask him. He will answer. You know what I'm saying? So shalom, Elder Rufus. How you liking it down here in Florida so far?
Man, we're enjoying it, Brother Michael. You guys have been extremely gracious hosts, and we had a nice little session last night. Me, yourself, I forgot that other brother's name. I'm sorry, I forgot his name.
Elder Roosevelt.
Roosevelt,
Yep.
Roosevelt, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Had a real nice session out there last night, just fellowshipping, man, and talking about the Most High. So it's been a blessing. It was a good, easy drive down here. So we're glad to be here.
All praise.
Glad to be here, ready to get to work for the Most High.
Oh yeah. All right. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna make sure everything, y'all, the audio and the video is good. Y'all put a 10 in there, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. Make sure everything's up and going good. And then what we're gonna do is press forward with, with our current events. Okay, they said they could barely hear Elder Rufus. All right.
I'll talk up.
All right.
I'll speak like a man.
All right. So let's, we're going to get the audio correct before we move forward.
Maybe I just got to lean forward and talk. Maybe that'll help being closer to the microphone for him.
All right. So y'all let us know if that's better. Because like I said, I just got a text from one of my ops.
I'm seeing tens in the chat room.
Yeah, I'm
Everybody
seeing.
giving tens in the chat room. So.
Okay, yeah. I'm seeing them too. All right. So what we're going to do is, while y'all are responding and everything, what I'm going to do, of course, we're going to cover some of the current events and some of the stuff going on out there. And the first thing I wanted to get into is, of course, there's a situation in New Jersey, and I'm going to give you, they had a situation where a black man and a black woman went and shot up a Jewish bodega. Of course, the news immediately categorized it at racially, and then and of course, anytime they get a chance to take a shot at the Hebrew movement, because of course one of their main problems with it is it exposes them. Of course, they throw that in there. But what I'm gonna do real quick is, just because I'm from New Jersey, I got a lot of people up there in that area, so I know the inside scoop of exactly what's going on. So I'm going to just show you a quick video from about 3 years ago, all right? And that'll put all that in perspective, that at the end of the day, the Most High wants us out of those cities, okay? And we got to understand that. But check out this video real quick, y'all. All right, I'm going to put it up here. Bam.
We have been documenting the changes reshaping Jersey City, physically and culturally, mostly downtown where condo towers have replaced empty lots, but in the inner city, here in the heart of the black community, Orthodox Jews have been arriving on Martin Luther King Drive over the past several months, and their presence is being noticed. This is Yul Pearl, a spokesperson for the Yazoru Committee, which is opening a community center on MLK.
Most of the people that's coming here most of them are from Brooklyn, and they live in Williamsburg. To buy a house in Williamsburg now, it's $1.5 million. Prices here is going now to buy a house. $180,000, $200,000. So this we could the low income people could afford these things.
In that way, the Hasidim who have discovered the Bergen Lafayette and Greenville neighborhoods are not unlike the recently arrived hipsters downtown, just looking for cheap housing. But Hasidim are known to be insular, and longtime residents here are known to be distrustful of anybody new. So far, the two sides just seem to be sizing each other up.
I know him. I live right here. He's a nice guy. I know him.
Pearl says since January, 11 families have moved into this neighborhood, still one of the toughest in the city. He says 50 to 60 homes are already under contract. The committee is marketing apartments to families for affordable rents, $800 for one bedroom, $1,100 for a two-bedroom.
If you were to look into the future,
Yes.
in 2 years, 5 years,
Yes.
what would this community look like?
We don't know this. We can't say what's going to be in
the future.
Yeah. But this we have to told. We don't want to throw out people. We don't, because here it's many houses for sale. So we understand.
Real estate agent Tina Devine grew up in this very neighborhood and has seen its demise and now its rise.
Tell me what the market is like here on and around MLK.
The market is hot. is high. Sellers are selling at or above asking price. There are a lot of investors that are moving into the neighborhood, and then there's low inventory. So that's creating a higher demand for the neighborhood.
But already some residents have begun to complain about aggressive buyers, whose persistence, they say, borders on harassment. Ashenia Johnson is on the board of the nearby South Greenville Neighborhood Association.
When you have people, day after day, week after week, knocking on their door, like, do you want to sell, and telling them this is going to happen, that is going to happen, and they're basically scaring them into selling, and they're offering people, $90,000, $150,000 for buildings that can go for $1 million or better. And that, as a member of the neighborhood association and a concerned resident, I have a concern about that.
Is that happening?
Yes, it's problem. Many people, Hasidim people that wants to come here and they want to buy houses for cheap, and so they're asking, but they are trying, but if they don't want to sell it, they could told it not.
Yeah. Well, do they take no for an answer, or do they keep trying to?
No, they take of course. No is no.
We've heard this before in towns like Lakewood and Toms River, where the city is now considering an ordinance to outlaw this kind of soliciting. And then there's the history of places like Crown Heights, where tensions between blacks and Orthodox Jews exploded into violence in the 1990s.
No, don't get me wrong. I appreciate what they do because they try to help people, right? But I don't like no conniving stuff, Don't do that. Don't deceive me.
Right.
All right? Because if you do that, then you're going to get violence.
People will say
All right, y'all. So anyway, that what they're trying to do, because they own the news too, they try to spin it on, hey, it's these Hebrew Israelites, all this, but if you get boots on the ground, you talk to people who actually live in Jersey City, they will tell you, and you heard it in this video, and this video is from 2016, and they will tell you that tensions are, and they predicted it in this video, yeah, it's from 2016, tensions are high because of that aggressive buying and running people out their houses, and I can almost guarantee with like 90 or more % certainty that's what's behind that whole situation there. There's even people who actually know the people that was involved in that shooting. So it's all going to come out soon. That whole Hebrew Israelite thing was just a convenient way to kill two birds with one stone, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, and Elder Rufus, I'm going to let you weigh in on this. At the end of the day, that's a blessing. We need to get up out of them cities anyway. So go ahead, I'll let you talk.
I agree, Mike. It could be a blessing for those that have ears to hear. Unfortunately, the majority of the people that's still stuck in them cities, they stuck there because they want to be there. They don't have the ears to hear. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And
right.
when this came up, I had a lot of people calling me and asking me about, well, what is this and what do you think is going on and why is this and that? And I said, why are you concerned? Because these are people that are in the faith. These are people that are walking this out and living the book. And I'm like, this ain't really no major concern to you, because regardless of the spin that they're trying to put on it, there's always going to be oppression on what the world calls the minority people, the black people. They're going to always oppress them.
Right.
And the sad thing is we always chasing behind them and running behind them and trying to be like them. When they move downtown, we want to get our affairs in order and try to move downtown with them. When they get tired of being around us, they want to move out to the suburbs, and we want to move out to the suburbs with them. We just chasing behind these Egyptians and these Europeans the whole time. But at the end of the day, this don't affect you if you walk in the spirit of the Most High Yah. If you are walking in holiness and righteousness and you live in this faith, it don't affect you, because they're trying to, you said the two birds with one stone thing, right? Where they're trying to put a spin out there on the quote-unquote black Hebrew Israelites. Well, we ain't black Hebrew Israelites. We just Hebrew Israelites. And the narrative, that negative narrative they're trying to throw out there about how, we're a hate group and racist groups and all that, when Straightway puts up their family picture, it negates that full narrative that they're trying to throw out there.
Yeah.
How you going to look at that picture and call us racist? How you going to look at that picture and say that we spewing hatred in our doctrine? You see what I'm saying? And this is just a wake-up call for these people to get away from these cities, to get away from these so-called camps that spew this hatred, and get out of this matrix. And when the Bible tells you in Revelation 18:4 to come out of her, just listen and follow that. Walk by faith and not by the sight. You know, you read Psalms 91, it talks about these things. But you should be hidden in the secret place of the Most High Yah. You should be able to see all this stuff going on, but it should not be able to affect you. You understand what I'm saying? 1,000 fall at this side and 10,000 at this side, but it shall not come near thee. Only with thine eyes shall you see the reward of the wicked. You need to be functioning in that mode. That's what we need to be more focused on. I watch and I follow current events and world news just so that I could stay abreast. But it don't affect me like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm living in a whole different other reality than what these people are experiencing. And the reality I'm living in is pressing forward towards the mark and that prize of the high calling. Hallelujah.
Right. Hallelujah. All right. So yeah, that's good. What we're gonna do is
Yeah.
look at this. All right, look. A double abomination with sugar on top. All right, literally. It says Santa Claus will be a gay black man in a new children's book. So, like I said, you can't make this stuff up. This is just the crazy stuff you see out there. It's definitely the dead season. I seen it. I thought it was funny, man. You can't make this up, man. I mean, and they're pushing that thing hard.
Children.
And that goes back to Elder Rufus. That goes right back to what you were saying about come out of her, and people. You got a lot of people who they just say that is spiritual. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about that? You hear some of these ministries out there teaching coming out of her is not a literal thing. Oh, you could keep your kids going to the schools. You could stay in it. You just got to come out spiritually.
I mean, they are agents for the Hasidim. I mean, anytime you teaching anything against the book, you are an agent of the Hasidim, and you functioning and you operating in an antichrist spirit.
Right.
So, you know, again, read the book. Read the book. Study to show thyself approved. Meditate on these words daily. And then the Holy Spirit, if you get that spirit of truth, it's only one spirit. If you get that, its job is to lead and guide you to truth. So it's going to do that. You remember when we first used to talk, I was telling you, I can tell these people, remember you said a word like, yeah, rock with. I said, hey, these brothers ain't nothing. I told you in the beginning. And the reason why is because I could tell they did not have the spirit of truth. The spirit of truth causes you to follow after truth. And I said, if these people were really, truly serious, they would be doing the same things and making the same moves you making. I've watched thousands of people come in this ministry and do the same thing. It's one spirit, it's one faith, it's one baptism, one Yah. So when somebody's trying to come in and show me something different than what I already know to be true and live, you see what I'm saying? It'd be different if I'm just preaching it and teaching it, but I'm not living it. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's the day that preach this gospel. They need to live this gospel. So because I'm living it, you're not finna be able to fool me with that. You're not be able to fool me with that. So these people that are out here pushing these type of narratives, they just got the Antichrist spirit on them, man. And you remember, Mike, we was talking yesterday. Remember when I was going over that part in text about when the Messiah was telling Peter, he was vexing Peter a little bit. You could tell, he kept, hey, do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? And Peter's thinking, man, I have sacrificed everything and turned over everything. Of course I love you. You know I love you. But he went right back to what? Feed my sheep. And I'm telling you, a lot of people come to this faith and they forget that. They get away from the simplicity of this gospel of feeding the sheep. Having your eyes set and focused on the sheep, those that are willing to do and come out of her. Instead of worrying about these people that's out here caught in this matrix that ain't doing nothing to try to get out of it. They are happy with their demons. They're happy with their devils. They're happy with their depression. So you can have it. You know what I mean? I'm going to stay focused on the sheep. I'm going to stay focused on the sheep.
That's good. That's good. That's real talk.
Yeah.
We got another article here real quick. It says many of the poorest Americans, and I'll put it up here so y'all can see it.
That's good.
it says many of the poorest Americans are abandoning church in masses. Okay?
Yeah, real good.
And, you know, I mean, you got kind of building off what Elder Rufus just said. A lot of these people, you got a small remnant that are looking for answers. They want answers. And they're not there. And as we move forward, they're going to realize more and more that even a lot of these so-called Hebrew ministries, they don't have answers. They're going to, and I mean, if you could, Elder Rufus, talk about the growth you're seeing at Straightway and serious-minded people really trying to get into this thing.
Man, it's amazing. You know, Pastor Dow has been saying for years how the Most High adds by subtracting and how he multiplies in the ministry by dividing. Mm-hmm. And I'm seeing exponential growth in the ministry because Pastor actually prophesied this a few years ago, and he said, you know, he was telling a lot of the saints that's been around for a while, he said, you're finna get put to shame. Because here it is, y'all done called you to this marvelous light. You're getting an opportunity to learn this thing, but you're becoming complacent in your ways, and you're not pressing towards the mark. Mm-hmm. So what y'all finna do is he finna bring in some serious-minded people, and they will shame you, and he will put them in the positions that he had ordained for you. But because you stuck on your laurels and you're not moving forward, and you content in where you are. Now, we should all be content in the Most High, but we should always be pressing towards the mark.
Right.
And because these people are being lazy and lethargic and they're not pressing and they're not trying, y'all finna move in more serious-minded people, and they finna take these positions that he had for you because they're gonna be serious about it and they're gonna go after it. And we're seeing that come to place. So it's a beautiful thing to watch, right. You know. And then another thing, like Pastor Dad was talking about the other day on his live Facebook, is how it's just time. It's time for all mouths to be stopped. A lot of mouths want to speak against this work because, again, they are agents for Satan. They work for the Hasidim, y'all. They have an antichrist spirit on them. So
and real fast, Elder Rufus, on that, talk about how simple and how black and white that is to see and to show. He's not just saying that. It's very simple to see and to identify.
It is. But the key is to identify it. You have to have a working knowledge of the Bible. You have to have that in you. This is why we press people to study the scriptures, read the scriptures, study the scriptures, meditate on the scriptures. Because when they say something to you, it could be the smallest remote thing. But when it is against the scriptures, the Holy Spirit in you should be like, ding, 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 that ain't it. That's not what we're going. You see what I'm saying?
Right,
and then you can, the speech, you know how I talk about how the speech will give them away. Their speech will give them away. But the problem is most people will not press in the scriptures. They will not study that book. They will not meditate on that book, so they don't know what the scripture says.
Right,
so when people come with smooth words and they start itching their ears, it's easy to take that path of least resistance and go that route instead of pressing. Because when you press, Mike, you know this, you're going to have to purge yourself. Bible tell you to purge thyself. You're going to have to do deliverance. You're going to have to cast down these vain imaginations.
Right.
That's the battlefield. And a lot of folk don't want to engage in the spiritual combat. They don't want to do it.
Right.
So they'll rather just, okay, well, he's telling me this, that makes me feel good, that gives me goosebumps, so I'll go that direction instead. And then that's when they end up being defeated, and they don't deal with their sin abounds, and at the end, you're going to get that payment for that sin.
Right.
But it's very, very simple to identify these people because they're speaking anti-Christ doctrines. They're speaking anti-Christ words. And if you got a working knowledge of the scriptures, once it's said, you know it. The Holy Spirit warns you about this stuff. And this is why it's important to follow a ministry that is actually doers of this word. Because, faith without works is dead. So you claim to have faith, but if you ain't actively working out your faith, you have dead faith. And a lot of people got the lip service. They'll tell you all day how much their faith are, but you can't see it by their works. But the very chief apostle will tell you, if you just watch the things I do, it will show you what I actually believe and what I have faith in.
Right.
This thing is very, very simple. It really is. But it takes order. It takes submission. It takes humility. And it takes discipline. And the majority of the people know that takes a lot of effort, and that takes change, and change hurts. Let's just keep it right. It hurts when we start finding out about all these lies that we've been told in school and told by our parents and grandparents and told by everything that's around us. But you get past that hurt and pain, and you gird yourself and you put on the full armor of Yah so that you can be equipped that when more lies come, you won't fall for them.
Right, right.
That's how we should be operating.
That's good. So, yeah, and like for me, you know, looking around in the Hebrew community, it's a lot of talk. There's no answers. There's no solutions. It's a lot of philosophy and history lessons, but no action. But again, with their philosophy and vain doctrines and manipulation with these doctrines and this stuff they're teaching, they're telling you, oh, no, this is the works. Learning what I'm saying and following us is the work. Giving your money to us is the works. I mean, that's literally, and it's like outside of that, there's no answers for bringing your kids out these wicked schools. There are no financial solutions. There's no nation building solutions. They'll say they're building a nation, but they're really building a pyramid scheme or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Yeah, so it's like, where's the footwork? And people have they're on their strong delusion. They don't see through it. They lead them astray. All right, so changing topics real quick. Elder Rufus.
Yes, sir.
Over the past, I guess, month and a half, there's been on social media, there's been public correction by you and Pastor Dowell on publicly, where you have rebuked women publicly on social media platforms. A lot of people, I've watched a lot how a lot of people, their comments, this, that, and the other on those situations, and they're just appalled by it. They feel, and again, I stress, they feel like you and Pastor Dow are out of order, behaving like that on a public platform. Could you elaborate on that? Were you and Pastor Dow out of order? What was that? Was that sin, transgression? Who was in transgression?
Well, this is why Pastor Dow and myself was speaking up against these things, because these were transgressions with these women speaking and operating and talking out of order. And the Bible is extremely clear of the role of what a woman should be, especially in the assembly, and especially when it comes to usurping the authority of men when it comes to teaching. That's not a position that a woman should be in. And because these weak men will not, I don't want to use the word control, but, they won't regulate their homes. They won't, control their women. They won't do it. Somebody has to step up and do it because it's out of order and it's out of line. Now, people get mad at the approach we take because what they say is, well, you don't need to be speaking to another man's wife. Well, how about dealing with another man's wife speaking about us? Speaking about Israel business, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When we know that we're the ones charged to go out and we're leaders in Israel. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it is our business. You know what I mean? And what they do is they want to speak, but then they want to come with what I call a slick hating. They don't want to say your name. They just throwing rocks and running and hiding behind buildings is what they're trying to do. And then when you step up, they want to act like the victim and say, oh, no, I never said a word about Pastor Dollar. I never said this about. We know who you're talking about, though.
Right.
And we know the harm and the injury that's going on behind this high level of witchcraft. This is witchcraft, y'all. This is high level witchcraft. And most of you aren't even remotely close to being ready spiritually to even try to deal with this stuff. You don't understand what Pastor Dow is doing when he's addressing these things by trying, what he's doing is trying to preserve you so that you don't get caught up in the strong delusion. You had that article up a second ago, Mike, about how the pores, people are leaving the church, and I think you might have heard me mumble, that's good. Because it is. Because everybody that's in this faith and actually walking it, look how much more clear your thoughts became and how the Most High could actually speak to you and guide you once you came out of Christianity, once you came out of Islam, once you stopped following organized religion.
Right.
So what do you think will happen when you come out of her then? When you come out of this matrix and you come out of this city and you start devoiding yourself and detaching yourself from all these apparatuses that are set up to keep you in bondage? The food system where the children go, the colleges that program you even more. When you start detaching yourself from this stuff and you move out in the countries and you don't have the smells of the fast food places, you don't have the billboards, you don't have the lights, all these program distractions that keep you from hearing the voice of the Most High.
Yeah.
How do you think that's going to affect you?
Yeah.
But most of you don't want to try it. So here it is, you have warriors in the midst of you fighting for your souls. You know, a true shepherd, he will leave the 99 to go after the one. When you hear these witches up here talking, because that's what they are. I ain't holding my tongue, they witches. And I know the level of witchcraft that they're trying to spew on the people. So when Pastor Dow start lifting up his voice like a trumpet and roaring like a lion, now everybody want to, oh, why you getting loud? And oh, why your name calling? Well, Jesus called names. We had a brother that left my fellowship down there in Georgia because what he was doing was playing. We always tell people, if you get a witness on who a man of Yah is, follow him. Why do we tell you that? Is it that we're trying to make you just listen to Pastor Dow? No. If you got a witness, you don't want to allow confusion to come in because you can only have one head. You understand? You can only have one leader. So here it is. You got a leader over here you're listening to. You got a leader over here, a leader over here. You got 4 or 5 people you listening to. But what happens when they all start saying something different? You have just opened yourself up for confusion. So what this brother did, behind the scenes, he's fellowshipping down there with us, part-time, not 100% brother, not fully engaged with us, but he's coming and we're allowing him the opportunity to grow. But at the same time, he's behind the scene watching Watchwoman and the Doberman. You see what I'm saying? He's watching them. That's what he's doing. So when the sparring start taking place spiritually online, he gets offended. And now, in him, he had the courage and the gumption to try and come and rebuke me for our actions. Now, at the time, I had only used words like simp, sucker, stuff like that.
Right.
He's mad at my language with these people. So then when I showed him the language that the Watchwoman put on his screen about how Pastor Dow called a lady a dog, and he highlighted how Pastor Dow was calling this woman a bee. He's calling this woman a bee. I said, okay. I took him right over to the text and showed him where Jesus did the same thing. I said, so you mad at me for my speech for calling a man a simp who won't control his wife, calling him a chump and a sucker, but you tripping on the guy that you watching, that you defending now, he's trying to highlight how Pastor did what the Messiah did. At the end of the day, this is high-level witchcraft going on. High-level witchcraft. And most of you are mesmerized by it because you do what the book says. You're constantly searching for this knowledge. You're constantly looking for this new thing because you have no spiritual, nothing in you spiritually to lead and guide you. You need the Ruach is what you need.
Right.
So here it is. We're trying to preserve you out here and show you what righteousness looks like. Show you what holiness looks like. But there will be casualties in the war.
Right.
But I don't have a problem with the wicked dying. I don't have any problem with that at all. But again, a true shepherd like Pastor Dow is, he's trying to preserve that one sheep. He's trying to preserve it. Now, my role is different. I'm not a pastor. All right? See, I understand the book tells us how it's nothing from the outside that can do us in. It's going to be something that comes from the inside.
Right.
Right?
Right.
It has to be that. It's these small foxes that destroy these vines. You see what I'm saying? So I'm keeping my eye on the sheep that's within us.
Right.
That's what I'm doing. I'm keeping my eye on them. Pastor Dow's job is to go out and to win souls and to go after the sheep that are lost. That's his job. My job is to keep my eye on y'all that claim to be Israel, but you don't want to live it. You don't want to walk it, even though there was a tangible example before you daily. And it's growing. When I came to Straightway, they had one community. That was in 2011. They had one community, and it was called Straightway right there in Tennessee, what we call the hood. Now we have 10.
Yeah.
How you going to argue that fruit? At that time, they had one viable assembly. That was in South Carolina where Elder Austin is.
Right.
They're a community now, but they was an assembly back then. That's all they had when I came.
Right.
Now we have so many assemblies around the world, I can't count them. Remember last night I was telling you guys about all the different places, in Norway, Sweden, Germany, all London,
over the world.
all over the world, Philippines.
Piece of paper.
I was telling all over the world. But then you get people like these witches and warlocks coming here and say, oh, well, Straightway don't evangelize. No, we're not stupid and get out here on street corners and start calling people names that they're not, trying to deter them from the faith. We know what true evangelism is, and it's amazing. All these people come just from hearing the word of Yah. So, brother, these people don't understand spiritual warfare. So I really don't care, nor do I think about people's opinion that ain't adding anything to this work that we doing.
Right.
See, y'all are on fire down here in Florida, Straightway, Florida.
Right.
Y'all are pressing toward the mark. Or we're going to come and assist you in that then. And whatever it is that you need, like right now, we here because of what? We need help with deliverance.
Right.
We need more understanding and more knowledge on and wisdom on how to operate with deliverance. Well, that's why I'm here. You see what I'm saying? When it come time for y'all to build, guess who's going to be here? Straightway. Pastor Dow, the elders, the brethren that will be here. Now, these other bootlicking ministries, what they going to do?
They're going to keep making YouTube videos.
Hey, man, send me an offering so I can send out a prayer that y'all will send you somebody to build that building for you. Instead of they showing up themselves and build it with you so that you can save on that cost like y'all did with the community last week. I sit here, I saw this 50-foot, 100-foot tree on the ground over here. I know what it costs to get that because we got lumberjacks in the ministry that have showed all of us how to cut trees down properly. So I know what it costs to cut trees down like this. You see what I'm saying? Right. I know what it costs to fix and repair cars. Why? We got mechanics in the ministry. I know how much money we saved. I know what I was paying before we had people that can fix it. And now that we do got folk that have learned and can fix it, I know how much money I'm saving. Right. And that money all goes to stay in Israel. Right. Because again, in this ministry, show me one leader in this ministry that's taking a salary. None of us. Not a one of us, from Pastor Down on down. Yep. None of us are taking a salary. Every dime, and every dime we bring in goes right into that pot so that we can buy more lands, buy more building materials.
You can see it. You see the footwork. You see where the money's going, and you feel it. You can feel where the money's going because it alleviates the burden off of our people, man. That's what I'm talking about, man.
From one community to 10 communities with 2 or 3 on deck right now.
Wow.
And all the money that comes in from the offerings from the faithful goes right into those communities. Ain't one community that's got a Straightway name on it that Straightway haven't had a major financial influence.
And it's public. It ain't behind the scenes. You see money in and you see where the money's going.
So, brother Mike, you see why I just don't care about these people's comments. I don't care about their thoughts. I don't care about their statements. They're not adding anything to us. And I was talking about that brother that went astray on us. I didn't care about his thoughts and his statements and his so-called rebuke of me. I told that brother, do what you gonna do.
Right.
Do what you gonna do. I guarantee this. He can't even go fellowship with Watch Woman and Doberman. Even though he watching them and he's liking them and he's appreciating the teaching that she does, because he ain't teaching nothing. The teaching that the Doberman does, he appreciates that. I bet he can't go there in fellowship. Did that thing not play out publicly? I didn't even watch it, but I heard the breakup of their so-called community. It played out publicly online.
Yeah,
that's what people told me.
They try to start a
community.
A community
didn't work because you're not following the script. Can't no woman lead no community. Can't no woman do it. All y'all think y'all Harriet Tubman, huh? I guess, man. I ain't got time for that crap. I ain't making time for that. So I don't care about their thoughts. I don't care about their statements and their judgments. It means absolutely nothing to me.
And the thing is, something we need to really realize, and it's like even me, because me and Elder Rufus, man, like when he was coming out here, he was about 2 hours out. We got on the phone, and then from that 2 hours away from Jacksonville, all the way up to he fell asleep last night. We were just talking, man. Really getting edified, really hearing his testimony and everything, and looking at my testimony. One of the thing is, what you see out here in the Hebrew community, man, is people, what our people need to understand is that the Bible, it's a book of a different culture, and the culture in the Bible is almost perfectly opposite of this satanic culture we have in this society or nation or whatever you want to call it. And you just see a lot of people, man, they can't pull their emotions and feelings out of Babylon.
Let me speak on that real quick, Mike, because the culture that the Bible is speaking of is the Hebraic culture. And we're supposed to be going back after the old paths and the old ways, right? In this restoration that we in now. And the reason why people can't relate to it, who was raised in it? It was stripped from us. It was taken from us.
Right.
But now you have people that the Father has put His Spirit into, right? And they're showing you how to restore this thing and how to function in it. But again, we've been so programmed in this matrix and this society that we're in that we want to be like the Egyptians. We want to be like them, so we run after them. And we want to be like them. We want to be like the other nations. Instead of restoring the culture that is holy, that is perfect. He gave his laws to us. And that should motivate us not to break them. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It shouldn't be the fear of what happens when you break them. Yeah. He's so gracious. He's so loving. He's so kind. He's so giving as a father, as a Abba. It's like any child. You know how you got children.
Yeah.
When you speak in a certain tone, your daughter's looking like, man, I done let my father down. That's how we should be with Yah when we do something outside and he comes in and he chastises us because he loves us. He's only chasing those that he loves.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. And then because we're his children, he allows us to be healed. He allows us to be delivered so that we can do what Jesus told us to do, is go and sin no more. So we don't have to be bound by sin and we don't have to be bound by death anymore. But we don't want that because we've been so programmed and we've been dumbed down. We've been demoralized. We're depressed. All these deeds that, Pastor Dow always used to go through. We got all that stuff and we literally want it. So this is why I say, man, stay focused on those that are his. Y'all know those that are his.
Right.
So when he pulls them in, stay focused on them.
Right.
I'm not concerned about my natural brother who y'all ain't dealing with. I'm not concerned about my natural auntie or my mama or my mom and dad has passed. But again, if he not dealing with them, I'm not concerned with them.
That's a distraction.
Like Jesus said, those that do the will of the Father, that's my mother and my brothers. Right. So I stay focused on them. When you doing the will, you got me. If you're not, no, you're not. You're a distraction. You're a troubler of the work. You're trying to hinder the work going forward. So I'm looking to eliminate you, get you out the way so we can keep moving forward. It's just that simple.
Right.
It's that simple. But it's the Hebrew heritage. It's the culture that we should be embracing right now in this restoration that they fighting so hard against, because look how the nation will grow. Look how the nation will build.
Right.
Look how we will multiply.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When subjects like polygyny and all this stuff come up, people get all scared. The powers that be are really scared. Because you can't control that baby population. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you can't control the truth that we're putting in them.
Yeah.
The warriors that will be birthed and the warriors that will be reared in this thing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they know if you can't control the people, if you can't control their food, you can't control their water, and they're self-sufficient, you can't control them. So this is why you get the agents out here like R. Jelly. And I'm going to call his name. People like that. R. Kelly Richardson or Richardson Kelly. That'll get on here and on his page. I saw it just the other day. How he's trying to scare people from moving towards community. Trying to make it look like that's a bad thing. Even though when you go read Acts 2 and Acts chapter 4 and the Acts of the Apostles, read it all through their own at the Messiah level.
Coming against the book. Coming against the book.
That is an antichrist spirit, and you should stay away from it. But if you don't know what the book says, you don't know that. you will fall right into that category. I was looking at the broadcast and you talked about fear a lot yesterday. Remember, I didn't get to watch it coming up, but I watched it this morning. I watched it twice, as a matter of fact, and you kept pressing on fear. People are fearful, and that's what these agents for Satan come in and do, is press you on your fear. So that you won't move forward, so that you won't be bold and step out in faith and do the things that you know the book is telling you to do.
Right.
And it's sad. It's just sad.
Real fast, I'm going to answer your question because it was something I was getting ready to hit on anyway. Because one of the statements I put here, and this is to Healthy Trucker TV there, is what I was getting ready to say. People have been deceived through or by their emotions. When you keep hearing Elder Rufus say it's high-level witchcraft, it's not that your feelings and emotions are bad, but when your feelings and emotions are not lined up with the book, it's bad. It's evil. So you gotta go through the pain of getting your feelings and your emotions biblically aligned. And a good example is you had all these people jumping their feelings and emotions when, oh, how you gonna call a dog and a bitch and this, that, and the other. And you got the book of Ecclesiasticus right here saying a shameless woman or a lawless woman or these big mouth monsters you see out here being a bad example to all the rest of the sisters out here on social media, on a public forum. It says a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. But it says, but she that is shamefaced. That's not a big mouth monster causing contention in public. A shamefaced woman is a woman that a meek, humble spirit. You see what I'm saying? Will fear the Lord. This is basic. This is not complicated. Did you have something? Go ahead.
And you can even keep it even a little more simpler than that. We're talking about feelings and emotions. Is anger a feeling and emotion? Right? It's a feeling.
Right.
You got emotion and anger. The Bible says be angry, but sin not.
Right.
See, you cannot let your feelings and emotions dictate your decisions. The word of Yah should dictate your decisions. We don't live off bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of Yah. Right. It's the word that should dictate what we do, how we do, when we do it, where we do it.
Right.
That's what should dictate it, not your feeling and your emotion. Because I could have feelings towards my wife, but that may not be what Yah want for her. But because I'm caught all up in that feeling, I go ahead and do something. Now I just gave my power over to her. I just gave my strength over to her. And y'all already know, as a weaker vessel, what a woman gonna do with that strength. She ain't giving it back. She gonna fight tooth and nail to keep that crap. And you just put her in a position where she's shameless now. And she finna be counted as a dog. No, you're not governed by feelings and you're not governed by emotions. We have them. We do. Does that mean we're not loving? Does that mean we don't feel? No, it doesn't. We do love. We do feel. We love hard. I promise you, none of you love your family more than I love Israel. None of you do. Right. Because I deposit in Israel for the eternal state, not just this temporal state. See, Mike, you my brother. That's temporal, though. We're going to be together in eternity forever. But right here on this, as my earthly brother here and my spiritual brother here, that's just a temporal state. We both going to leave this state. Right. I'm going to invest in you to make sure that you make it to the kingdom with me. You see what I'm saying? That's real, true love. That's love in the Bible when it says love never fails. That's that kind of love. But if you're sitting out here being dictated and dominated by your feelings and emotions, where's the real love?
Right.
And all the devil gonna do is come in and play you off your feelings and your emotions. That's what he's gonna do.
And that's why a lot of these people, man, week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out, they in the same condition, same demons, same financial conditions, same economic conditions, same relationship situations. Nothing's changed. And you following these wicked ass ministries that's low key wicked. They done deceive you, and you can't figure out what the issue is. And they steadily. I watch a little low key dig that, oh, it's them. They the evil ones. Man, they call it good evil and evil good. I mean, you understand what I'm saying.
And then the Messiah said, you will know them by their
Plain and simple.
This stuff is not hard. It's not hard at all.
Yeah. All right. So, all right, Elder Rufus, I'm gonna step out. I left my pad out there. I'm gonna go grab it, but I wanted you, while I'm out there grabbing it, I wanted you to speak on something me and you was talking about yesterday.
Okay.
And that Pastor Dow mentioned in his video that he did yesterday about, because this is something a lot of people, they're like, well, why is he bragging or why is he boasting? And then you made the statement, and Pastor Dow made the statement, if you're doing it, it's not boasting. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna let you speak on that for a sec, and I'll be right back.
All right. And again, it's people caught up in emotionalism, and what it is more fear tactics trying to be pushed out on the people. What they want to do is deflect the people from looking at true substance and true fruit. Like Pastor said in his Facebook thing, of course, if I do it, I'm not bragging. It's just stating facts. It's not boasting. I'm just stating a fact when I can back it up. But what they will want to do is get you focused on something else so you can actually ignore the actual positive fruit that's going forward. Instead of you just analyzing and saying, man, you know what? I may not have liked the way that Pastor Dow delivered that. But when I look at the brass tacks of what he just did, listen to me, what he just did, not what he said, what he did that benefit me? And 10 times out of 10, you're going to have to say yes. And that's where the people had the issue at. That's where the people had a problem at. But because they want to take the path of least resistance, they want to take the lazy way out, they'd rather listen to the bootlicker who says, man, he's got anger issues and he hates women and he don't love the people and he's this and he's that. You know, all these are just distractions. Distractions. And distractions get you off of focusing on what's real, what's tangible, what is fruit, what will mature you. Because that's a problem that we're having in Israel. We got a lot of people that are coming into this faith, but they're refusing to take the spiritual steps through purging themselves, through healing and deliverance, right? Through submission and obedience to actually become fruitful in their families, right? And become mature enough to lead their families. Now, there are a lot of beautiful daughters of Zion we have out there. A lot of virgins in our ministry too. See, I know people say, ain't no virgin. Yeah, it is. They're straightway, all right? But you bootlickers won't get them, I guarantee it. Because you're not worthy of a virgin. You ain't worthy of that. But you men, because you are lazy spiritually, and you try to take the path of least resistance, you're not getting yourself to a point of maturity, spiritual-wise, to where you can lead these sisters and these children. You see what I'm saying? We got all the, another epidemic, we got a single mothers. That's a product of the environment that you're in. Because the Bible teaches me that a woman in Israel should be covered from cradle to grave. But which woman going to submit to that, though? You don't have a father, you don't have a husband, and you won't submit to a pastor or an elder. So what are we supposed to do with you? What are we supposed to do with you? Just let you run rampant around here with your feelings and emotions and spew the crazy crap in your mind that got you in the situation that you're in, which is called a single mama. But we got a bunch of beautiful sisters that have said, no, I'm going to go the way of righteousness. I'm going to submit. And see, then those sisters, once they have turned that leaf, you know what I mean? They have had that mind renewed, right? Who's the brother that's going to be mature enough to come in and say, like the book tells them, they'll look at that woman, instead of looking at the cookies and goods, they'll look at it and say, man, she got a little daughter. Man, she got a son. That son needs a father. And will act like the book says and be a father more to them children than worrying about being a husband to that woman. See, that's spiritual maturity, because that's what the book says. That's what the Apocrypha tell you should be. You should be looking more about being a father to that child. The part about being a husband should be easy when you're spiritually mature. But they don't want to be spiritually mature. They don't want to put that work in because, that means you got to get in that deliverance chair first. That means you got to cast down these vain imaginations. You got to purge yourself of these sinful thoughts, sinful ways, sinful attributes. You have to do that. And that takes work. Change hurts, but it's good. But change hurts. Is it easy? No, it's not. But when you submit it and when you humble in this thing, Yah will back you. He will give you the strength that you need. Jesus already did all the work for you. You just got to walk in it.
Yeah. And all the and the thing that's so frustrating is all these ministries. See, this is what people can't see. These ministries are just misleading you away from this fact of going through the pain and going through the uncomfortable feelings and emotions of truly growing, the growth pains.
Oh yeah.
And they're deceiving you into thinking, oh, you are growing because you're learning from me. Even though your life is a disaster. You know what I'm saying? You're growing. You're in the one ministry talking about you in the bosom of Abraham. It's like, dude. But does your footwork say that? Okay. All right. One of the brothers asked a question. You said, I'm part of Straightway. You said, let me see. All right, what if I'm part of Straightway and I want to go out and evangelize and street preach? Well, real fast, and then I'm going to hand it over to Elder Rufus, is the works are evangelizing and getting the word out. It is a light. Like I've heard a lot of people say, oh, Pastor Dow way out there in Tennessee in the middle of nowhere. He is. But look at the light that it's been to people. And Elder Rufus filled me in. I thought it was just national. It's international.
Oh, yeah.
When you got these other bootlicking ministries, they blowing the light out. They're not giving back nothing. So you ask, do you need to evangelize and street preach? No. Do the footwork. Like build it.
Let me ask that brother that presented that. I would ask you, where did you learn that from? See, you would want to come and possibly tell me that you feel led of the Most High to do that. But I would ask you to go in there and show me that in the book. Mm-hmm. The method that we see out here on the streets with the Christians, with the black Hebrew Israelites, with the Mormons, all these people that do what they call street evangelism, right? Show me that in the book. See, Messiah and them didn't do that. They would lay it to certain locations. And then they would get there. The people would know that the power was in town. And they come show up where the power is at. You see what I'm saying? That's different. That's not me getting the bullhorns down the street corner telling people that they devils and they going to hell because of their skin color. That's not me going out there trying to force my personal beliefs on someone because of what I believe. See, you've been trained to street evangelize. You've been trained to do that. Now, I brought it up earlier. People accuse this ministry of no evangelism because they don't see us on street corners. But when you go, just go to straightway.com. Go to straightwaytruth.com. Look at the website. Look at our family picture that we took this last fall feast at the Feast of Tabernacles. Mm-hmm. You tell me how many nations are represented in that picture. We had people come from probably 30 countries in that picture. But we don't evangelize. See, you got it wrong. You've been programmed wrong. And you're ineffective because these people that are doing it on these street corners, they're not winning people. They're not winning souls to the Most High. Now, again, do we say anything about them? No. Hey, any preaching of the Messiah we love. All right? Because you got to start somewhere. And some people get that on the street, but then they mature in it. You mature in it. Because again, if you coming out of her and you living out in the country like the book tells us to, what street? They don't even have streets in the country, y'all. We don't have streets. You see what I'm saying? We don't have curbs and corners. You know what I'm saying? You got some paved roads, some of them are not paved. No. So it's something that you've been trained and taught that this is the effective way to do it. But it's not. And you're not seeing any footprint. Christians evangelize around the world. Where's the fruit from what they're doing? What's the fruit from it? Who's coming out? Who's being set free?
Right.
Who is getting out of the debt? Who is getting out of the oppression that the system has them under? Who is getting their children free? Who is getting their wives free from street evangelism? Now, when you can show me that produces that level of fruit, because when you go read in Acts, now, did it not tell us that we had all things common? And we had a mindset that we had nothing that we called our own?
You gotta go to Acts.
That's equality.
Yep.
That's equality.
Yep.
When all of us have all things common, right?
Right.
Now, a family of 6 don't need what a family of 2 need. But if the family of 6 got everything they need and the family of 2 got everything they need, that's equality. That's having all things common. Don't mean we all get the same thing, but we get what is needed.
Right.
But see, coming into this way, it's about the way. It's about the community. It's about the saints. It's about the inheritance that we will be leaving for the righteous seed that we're going to be bringing into this place.
Right.
And teaching them how to keep it. You see what I'm saying? So you don't come to the community thinking, well, what does community do for me? No, you come to the community with the mindset, what can I give to benefit the community and the inheritance going forward for all these children? We work for that. That's what we work for, to restore our culture and our heritage. This is the restoration. It's time. That's what we do.
And I mean, he was, Elder Rufus is smashing into it so hard because compare that to what these other ministries are doing. They're just talking. And like the brother just put in there, he said, your walk preaches more than your talk.
Hallelujah.
And that's the thing that
Hallelujah.
I've seen that for a long time, all this talk, but what do you do? And I've been part of Straightway maybe 6 months, and there's been huge changes in my life for the good, economically, relationship-wise, spiritually, you name it. These other ministries, man, you could follow them for years. It's just a bunch of talk. But it says you will know them by their fruits. You see what's in the book of Acts and everything like that. I mean, you see the actions. And the actions, if you're on the street corner and you're telling them, hey, we got this community, we're doing this, we're doing that, and you're providing a model, then that's one thing. A lot of people just out there talking vain philosophy. It's like history lessons on the street corner.
Let me,
go ahead.
I think it's Terry Davis put a question in there.
Okay.
And he said,
YouTube?
On YouTube, he said, should Hebrews put that as their nationality on government paperwork, like driver's license, etc.? Let me explain to you how this works.
Okay.
You go to the book and you look at the way that the Messiah maneuvered in the Roman government system when he was here on this earth, right? Because the Roman government ruled while he was here. You didn't see him coming against the Roman government system. He did not he say, render to Caesar what is Caesar's? When it was time for Jesus to pay his taxes, he sent the disciple to go get the fish, right? And he paid for his taxes and the disciples' taxes. This is why we're not 501c3. We pay taxes in this ministry. All right? So as long as what the people of this society and this world is not hindering what we do spiritually, it's not making us break commandments, we ain't tripping. All right? Because you get folk to get out there and they want to start doing all this crazy stuff. Well, I'm not this ethnicity, blah, 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 blah. Most time all you're going to do is cause yourself problems because it's going to add confusion. When you could just check, I'm black, because they're going to see you as that anyway, and go work. And then take that money and put it back into Israel so you can get more free, so that you can get to a point where you don't have to work on the job no more. But you can start coming in with all these levels of confusion. Well, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. That is a spiritual state. Because again, you can check I'm Hebrew on that thing, but if you're not living as a Hebrew, does that make you a Hebrew? If your footprint doesn't show that you live in the heritage of a Hebrew, does it make you a Hebrew? You see what I'm saying? So you got to be wise. You got to be wise. But you got to move gentle too. You see what I'm saying? Wise as a serpent, but gentle as a dove. Right. So a lot of the stuff that people get into, it causes more strife for them. And here, it doesn't matter how you check it on there. Because is that going to make you break? Are you breaking a commandment by checking that you black on there? You see what I'm saying? You're not. Go get to work, bring in the funds so that the funds can help you pay your debt off. So then when your debt paid off, you can start building so you can get your family free. Be focused on that stuff. That's what we need to be doing. I hope I answered your question, my brother. I hope I answered your question.
All right, and real fast, somebody posted, and I'm a just chime in, and then I'm gonna hand it over. I'm gonna let Elder Rufus answer that if he wants to get into. Somebody posted Mark 16:15 saying, and he said to them, "Go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature." And what I tell people, back in the day, when the Roman Empire was in rule, their trade routes, their roads, their ships and stuff like that, that was the way to go and go into the cities, and that was where you get everybody together and bring this out. Well, the modern day Roman trade routes are social media, YouTube, Facebook. And that's how I found out about Straightway. That's how I found out about this truth. And what's the gospel? What's the good news? You know what I'm saying? So,
and we still even do that. I'm in Florida. I don't live in Florida. I'm in Florida. I was in D.C. recently. I was in Wisconsin recently. I've been to Texas.
We were just in Georgia.
Just in Georgia.
Doing a conference.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I've been up in Michigan. I've been up in Indiana. So, you know what I'm saying? Some people will have the international thing. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. Pastor Dow will get to go out the country. He's out of the country right now. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? But that's not telling us to take the Christian route, where they go out and they spew false doctrine to people in lands that ain't thinking about Christianity. Mm-hmm. They're trying to force their religion on people. And again, you can't, Jesus never, the Messiah, Yeshua never forced his religion, his belief. And I'm going to say religion just for commonality so people can understand what we're talking about.
Right.
He never forced his belief on anybody. You wanted that truth, he will give it to you. Right? And he showed you how to walk in the power of that truth. Mm-hmm. If you didn't want it, keep your devils. He was cool with that too. And we have to be the same way. That text is not telling you go force your belief on an individual. Your lifestyle will always, I think somebody said that in there, your lifestyle will always be your greatest witness. It's one spirit. I think somebody quoted that in there. It's one spirit. So if I'm looking at a man and the thing that he's doing hits my spirit, it's going to make me want to go do the same thing.
Plain and simple.
I'm going to be honest. I know I'm a man. I'm 100% man, right? But boy, when I met Pastor Dow, I was like, dang, this a real man. You know, I thought I was a real man. But it challenged me. It didn't make me cower in the corner and say, you know, oh man, I can't do the things Pastor Dow do. I don't have to do what Pastor Dow do. But I'm going to take what he does and it's going to inspire me. And the things that I can acquire, I'm going to do. I ain't going to never be able to do everything Pastor Dow do. I don't have that level of anointing. But I'm going to strive and it's going to keep me motivated until the Messiah come back. And I'm going to keep striving for perfection. You got to have somebody that can motivate you and encourage you and show you the way.
Yes.
Follow me as I follow Christ. Ain't that
dudes got a problem with that thing.
They don't want to submit. There's no humility in them. They don't want to submit to a man.
I'm looking at a dude's comment. I posted Pastor Dow's video yesterday, which to me, it hit me. It inspired me to do a video right after that. Only thing this dude could put in the comments is his shirt's too tight.
Nah.
Really?
Hey, let me help the people. Let me help them with that. Because I you know what? Let me get some water. It's hot in here with these lights, man. Let me cool down in here. And I'm getting hot talking about the truth. Let me help y'all with that. This. And I don't even have to do this. Not no pastor. Like, oh, you ain't got to help people. Pastor Dow is a workout guy. He's a big, muscular brother, right?
Yeah.
I have seen Pastor Dow put on an extra large shirt, right? And I've seen him put on a 2X large shirt. Mm-hmm. The 2XL looks like a curtain. It does.
Hey,
and the XL looks like what this brother saw. Now, his shoulder was jacked up for like 3-4 years. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't an issue. Mm-hmm. But now he can get back in there and start lifting the weights. Mm-hmm. Of course, his arms, his shoulders, his chest is going to push out a little bit more. Mm-hmm. So it makes that look a little... Am I making an excuse for the man? Hey, that's when Pastor Dow. He can do what he want to do. But I have seen the man put on an extra large shirt, and people will say, oh, that looks a little tight on him.
Right.
Because he fills it out up top. But then I also seen him put on a 2X large shirt, and I'm like, man, that looks crazy. It just fits like a darn balloon.
But
he's not going, hey, if he wear the 2X large, I promise you, somebody will get on here and complain about him wearing the 2X large. I'm
just blown away by what they focus on. It just shows what's going on. It's anything but the facts. It's anything crazy. But the footwork. It's any excuse. It's like, and they pride, these weak dudes, man, when they see somebody doing it better, it's everything else but the facts. Like you said, you were like, dang, this dude shaking them. Like when I got up there to Detroit, I was like, each person I met in Straightway until it was like the third day I was up there, I actually got a chance to talk to you, to Pastor Dow. We all got up there in the room, and even Koya could feel whatever it was when we were up in that room doing that interview. Mm-hmm. Like, we could feel it. Like, we were like, yo, what is that? I was like, yo, the anointing, whatever you want, it was power up in that thing. Yeah. And we were like, man, I was like, yo, this is it. And even Corey was like, yeah, this is it. Yeah, man. All right, somebody asked, when is the next Dry Bones Conference? Everybody was real busy this month. We realized we dealt with a lot of drama in that Dry Bones Conference in Atlanta by so-called Hebrews in the truth and all that crap, trying to get our event shut down and all this other stuff. And something we're going to speak on right after I'm finished addressing this is the lack of integrity with a lot of people, and they pulled out last minute and all that stuff like that. So this month, because there's a lot, the Jacksonville, Florida Straightway has been growing so fast. Most I put it on my heart, say, get Elder Rufus down here to make sure I'm in line, everything's going right. So we had a lot of stuff to put in order, so that's why we're not doing the Dry Bones Conference here in Florida just yet. We might schedule it later. Elder Rufus, you could tell me more about the one we're going to do in Dallas, Texas, because the other thing I realized, Elder Rufus was like, man, you need to just do it the way we normally do it. I was like, you know what? I'm listening.
I was breaking down for Mike how Straightway typically does meetings, right? And what happens is that we see a growth in an area, right? Pastor will look out and see that, man, it's a lot of calls coming in from this area. It's people in this area. Small fellowship has started to break out in this area. So now it's time to go. Go look at the book. That's exactly what the apostles did.
Right.
They hear about believers in certain areas. So they call for the big dogs to come in so that people can receive the Holy Spirit and things like that. That's the same thing that's going on here. So that's what I was saying to Brother Mike. You know, in the world, we just set up a conference, bring people in, and we understood the spirit on Brother Mike. You know, what his desire was is to expose people to Straightway, expose them to the people living righteous and showing you how to do it. So that's a good work. This is why we supported Brother Mike in it. But we know a more effective way to do it is once we hear that there are people in Jacksonville and they're growing leaps and bounds, the man of Yah, Pastor Dow, shows up. You see what I'm saying? Once we hear that they're growing in Dallas, oh man, the man of Yah, Pastor Dow, shows up. And then we have a meeting instructing those people specifically with what the Father desires for them in that area at that time. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you get specific instruction from the man of Yah coming directly from Yah for the people in that area at times. Because different areas need to do different things at different stages. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Depending on the climate you're in, environment you're in, depending on the amount of people that you have. You know what I mean? All instructions lead to the same road, right, but you just at different levels. That's a more effective way to do it. So we're not canceling the Dry Bones conferences because Jacksonville area is growing. Dallas area is growing. So we're not canceling these things. We're just going to do it in a more effective manner.
Right.
And then we will plug it in when the Father says, now it's time to go to Jacksonville. Now it's time to go to Dallas. We got an event coming up. I want to say it's in February. Remember, he's got Pastor Dow going back out to the DMV area. You remember, I got a chance to go to DMV, but Pastor Dow ain't been there.
Okay.
So now that whole DMV area in February is going to get passed out. Why? Because they've been growing. We got people coming from Virginia. We got people coming from Maryland. We got people coming from D.C. We got people coming from all over in that area.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Cool James and Brother Robert, they're out there doing a good job leading the people. But it's time for the man of Yah to show up and see. What a lot of people don't realize and understand, when pastor shows up, everything about your assembly changes. Everything about your little fellowship is going to change. Because the same thing you were talking about, y'all felt when y'all came in the room there in Detroit. When the anointing shows up and the power shows up, that's a charge being given to you. But you still got to take that and go with it and use that power and that charge to go out and get the work done. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So now you're going to have expectations. Now you're going to have goals. Now you're going to have responsibilities that you're going to be held accountable for by leadership.
Right.
Because if the people are growing, we need to provide for the people.
Right.
First, spiritually, more than anything. Getting their mind set free. Purging them from the sins that still besetting on them. You see what I'm saying? Right. Getting in deliverance chairs. Getting the homes and stuff in order. Getting everything in order so that we can put you in a position where you can truly follow the book and come out of her.
Right.
That's how it works. That's the efficient way to do it.
All right. Real fast, Melody. We don't block people who disagree with us. The people that I have booted off.
I do.
Rufus do.
I do.
Hey, the people I boot off here, never to be seen again, are distractions. Like, it's one thing to like ask questions, but then on the same note, damn, I'm 43 years old. I know when somebody got a spirit on. I can discern their spirit when they contentious. And my big thing, I said it yesterday. Why? There was one lady who kept coming on here. And I'm sitting here thinking, because Elder Rufus was like, Mike, don't even waste time with them. I'm like, and I got to thinking about it. I was like, yo, this lady gets up at 8 in the morning on the Shabbat.
To be a distraction.
And gets on my thing and just to be negative in the comments. It's like, damn. It's like, hey, all the other channels over here with much more viewership than me. Why the hell is she over here?
Let me help you, Mike, with this. Okay, man, Sister Melody or Melody Pure. Do you agree with homosexuality? I don't see you on the homo channels disagreeing with them. You see what I'm saying? We got this.
Are you with the KKK?
You ain't with the KKK. You ain't on their channels though telling them they bad either. Here's the key. The Bible is clear that two, if they cannot agree, they cannot walk together. This is why I block folk. I do. Because that person that is coming in disagreeing with me when I am living the scriptures. And it's being proven that it works. Proof text. But then you come in with your opinions and your emotions and your feelings disagreeing, distracting the people that know, hey, what Elder Rufus is doing, what Pastor Dow or what Michael is doing, this works. We want to hear this. So you come in with your distractions, I'm getting rid of you. That's the beauty of having your own channel. Now, what you can do when you disagree, go to your channel and spew your doctrine and your jargon to the people and tell them why you disagree and all that. But I promise this, you ain't going to get me coming over there on your channel. Because I don't care what you're talking about. You do what you do, and I'm going to do what I do, and we're going to watch the fruit in the end. But again, there's a tangible example. See, and it's amazing in Christianity. These people ain't on T.D. Jakes' page. They're not on Joel Osteen's page. They're not on that Creflo Dollar's page telling him how wicked he is and how he disagrees with what he's saying. But you got boldness in you from the house of time to come over here and tell true living Hebrews that's living this out. Don't say if you preach it, you should live it. We preaching it, we living it, but you want to tell us what you disagree in, and you ain't lived an ounce of it. Now, I'm not talking about you specifically, Melanie, because I don't know your life. I'm just saying. That's what people do. And this is why I don't give it no credence and no time. You don't feed trolls, because all trolls want to do is be fed. And they grow off it like a fungus, like a virus, like a parasite. So I'm not going to feed it. I'm not going to feed it. I'm cutting it off so that those that are here to hear this truth, they can get it. It's just that simple. See, people think because social media is out there that on your platform, you have to accept every comment. You have to accept every statement and every judgment to go forth. No, I'll boot your butt out of here. You go do it on your page. This is my page. I have an agenda on my page for the Most High, right? Now, if you don't like my agenda, go get your own agenda. So, and see, they'll call it, boy, I'm just being honest, though. And it's a pure question by the sister. But at the end of the day, I ain't jacking around with you. You disagree with what we're doing, especially when I am living this thing. And I know it works, and I'm watching hundreds of people and thousands of people get set free from it. Oh, I'm not going to deal with you. You're a distractor of the work. You're a trouble in Israel to me. So go spew your doctrine somewhere else. That's how I feel about it. Now, Mike want to keep feeding these trolls. He can do what he want to do.
I done shut down. Hey, I done shut down troll feeding the fast food troll
saints.
store.
I feed saints, not trolls.
Troll Donald's has been shut down. No more. We ain't feeding quick serve. Yeah, tight.
Excuse me.
Hey, shalom, brother Malachi Maccabee, man. Good to see you in there. Shalom.
Honor and humility. Glory to the King. Bless y'all. Bless y'all, my brothers.
All right.
Shabbat shalom.
All right. So all right. So a couple things. If you want to call in, you could call in. All you got to do is put that number right there in the Zoom app, and you will be on the show.
All right. Hold on, bro, Mike. Let me say something.
Okay.
Mike is giving you the freedom to call into the show. All right? This is the Shabbat. I ain't about to be vexed because I'm here to get a work done today for the Most High.
Yeah.
And to help my brothers and my sisters.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got one of them contentious spirits and you just want to go back and forth, I'm not with that. Now, Mike can sit here and go back and forth with you. I'm just telling you.
No more,
I'm gonna tell him flat out, that's not what this is for. Yep. Okay? You got that contentious spirit. Now, if I'm doing a broadcast that's on a different day, that's not on Shabbat, I may entertain that. I'm not entertaining it today. You're not calling in here vexing my spirit when I know I'm here to get a work done. You want to get edified and grow, you can call in. But if you call in with I just want to call because I disagree, this ain't the channel, this ain't the show today for that with Elder Rufus here. I'm just letting you know. All right.
Yeah,
so if you do decide to still call and you got that spirit, you will get disconnected, hung up on, and we're gonna move on to somebody that want to get edified. Because it's the Sabbath, y'all. We ain't trying to bring no burden in here on y'all on the Sabbath. We want to edify you. We want to give you clarity. We want to give you wisdom. We want to give you understanding so you know how to maneuver in this wicked world. That's what we're here to do. Now, if you don't think that's what we're doing, go find another channel that will do that for you. It's just that simple. But we're not here to contend, especially on the Shabbat, with the naysayers. That's not what we're here for.
Yep.
Hallelujah. So I just want to make that clear for those that do want to call in. Ain't got no problem with you calling. All right? Ain't got no problem with you calling. And if you have a pure question that you just don't have understanding on, that's fine. If we got an answer, we'll give it to you. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you just want to call because you got that contentious spirit on you and you think you know some truth and we wrong, I ain't dealing with that spirit.
And if you feel like the channel's off,
go find another channel.
So easy.
Man, there's a billion of them
Everybody live today. All right, so if you have, all you got to do, if you have the Zoom app on your phone, all you got to do is put that 9-digit number on it. If you don't have it, just download it. Download the Zoom app, and you put that 9-digit number in there, and you're on the show. And I will bring you right on. You could ask your questions, comments, concerns, whatever you want to put in there. Like he said, don't be contentious. I see you typing in all caps. Like right there, that's telling me that there's issues going on there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. You can't make this stuff up. But anyway, all right. Elder Rufus.
Yes, sir.
The next thing I wanted to get into real quick is I alluded to a little bit, and what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna pull up the definition right here for everybody to see, and we're gonna discuss this word because this is a big part of dealing with straight way. One of the things that really that I really saw that hit me the right way is this word here, integrity. And the definition of integrity is right here. It says the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, moral uprightness. Okay? Mm-hmm. Being the Bible or those two laws that they said everything hinges on, All right, Melody, you said you getting ready to call in. No, you better call in with the right spirit. Okay? So anyway, integrity. That's basically the law of brotherhood, would you say? And speak on what you've seen in Straightway concerning integrity.
Well, Straightway is a ministry full of integrity, and it bleeds down from the head all the way down. It's a 100% expectation and requirement in Straightway. You will walk with integrity if you're going to be with us, because the examples before us in the book did that, and we're going to follow it. Does that mean that you're going to do everything perfect? No. You see what I'm saying? And we're fair and we're just. Those that get in and get to see the inner circle and the inner workings of Straightway, they realize that we are fair and we're just, especially in our judgments. Shoot, I told you, I was under the ecclesiastical council this past feast myself, and a judgment was placed on me. Now, it wasn't on like breaking laws and nothing, it was on the restitution thing, but still, I'm an elder, and restitution came down on me. You see what I'm saying? Nobody gets a pass. You will walk with integrity. You will walk with honor and respect in this ministry, because that's what real men do. And how in the world are you going to have expectations of others that you cannot produce yourself? That's a hypocrite. We don't function that way. We just don't. But we have learned through years of walking in integrity that the people on the outside don't do it. They don't keep their word. You find this out the hard way, trying to put the dry bone conferences together. People don't do what they say they're going to do. But there's not anybody out there, name something that Straightway told you they're going to do and we didn't do it. Nobody can make that claim against us. Because if we say we're going to do it, we do it. It's just that simple.
Right.
And that's how we walk as a ministry. That's how we walk as men. And we expect our women to follow, and we expect our children to follow as such. And that's how you raise mature men. That's how you raise real, true Hebrew men that have nothing but their word. See, we in the state we in because we've been covenant breakers. We don't want to continue in breaking covenants. So if I tell you, Mike, I'm coming down here on 6th day. I know I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, I know there's a better chance of the sun not rising than
you not showing up. And I came through weather, I came through adversity, all that stuff I ignored. Because I gave my word that I would be here to assist. Now, when I give it, I already know where the power's gonna come from to get me there. It's not my driving skills that got me here. It's the desire and the will of the Most High. And we believe it's his will. That's why I agreed to come.
Right.
So he made it possible. So we walk in his strength. We walk in his power. And we mandate that every man in this ministry do the same. So when we catch you not doing it, we're going to get you on track so that you can.
And that's the thing. They deal with stuff head on. They don't sweep stuff under the rug and go along, get along, and deal with certain situations and all that stuff. No, they deal with it head on. And what I've noticed with a lot of our people is as soon as there's a slightest little bit of inconvenience to them, covenant gone.
And see, Mike, this is what I like to... I'm going to talk about this real quick. And I've been saying it to you. And speech is very, very important. And what we have done is classified pretty much the black folk as the Hebrew community. Y'all ain't never dealt with race. He ain't never dealt with skin color. He's dealt with nationalities. Well, then when the Bible says first that which is natural, then that which is spiritual. And we understand that spiritual portion of it comes in the latter days. Right? And we all agree that we living in the last days. Where's your spiritual discernment then? Where's your spiritual proof that you are what you say you are? See, I'm not going to call you a Hebrew or an Israelite when your mindset does not match up with that, because you're not. You can say you're a Hebrew, but you functioning as a Christian. You can say you're a Hebrew, but you functioning as an atheist. You can say you're an Israelite, but you functioning as an antichrist. So I'm going to go by your footwork. Jesus said you will know them by their fruit. I'm going to watch your fruit. And people don't understand. It doesn't mean you got to be on the same levels as Pastor Dow or Straightway or anything like that. But I can tell from the integrity in your heart and how you operate. The Bible said consider the ant, right? Look at how an ant functions and operates and work. It's long, it's tedious, but it's consistent and it never stops. That's the work of a Hebrew. That's what we do. The world can go out here and build a building in 2 months, 3 months. We may take a year, but you know what we got? Debt-free, no obligation, no bondage on that thing, and we did it. No heathens had to lay their hands on it.
Yep.
And it's ours until the Messiah decided to tear it down. You see what I'm saying? That's integrity. That's integrity.
A lack of integrity. You see a lot of these ministries, they will shake the people down for their money, just like the Christian church, and build their own, have some other nation build their own thing. Like you said, the people, they're not learning nothing.
They ain't being taught nothing.
They're not being taught nothing. What Elder Rufus is talking about is they build houses. They build buildings. And the people are getting edified. They're learning how to pour foundations and learning how to frame up houses. You know, they benefit from what's being done. And when you go back to the book of Acts, was it chapter 2 and chapter 4, they're doing it. That was the thing. As I began to get an eyewitness, as I began to know Straightway's fruits, not watching some videos and getting in my emotions, but I actually went and got to know their fruits. I saw that all the moves they were making could be booked. You could see it in the book. These other places, these other so-called Hebrews out here, you cannot back up their behaviors in the Bible. All right, so we got somebody on here. Shalom, this is Michael Israel. What's your name and what do you got? Can you hear me? iPhone, somebody on the iPhone.
Did they mute themselves?
Yeah, I hear you.
This is Brother Isaiah. I had a question for Elder Rufus.
Okay.
Elder, when you're trying to seek deliverance, is it true that there are some spirits that you can deliver yourself from, but there are also some that are deeply rooted that you need, someone with a higher anointing to help you get delivered?
Brother Isaiah, that is correct. One thing I do dealing with the saints, because what people will do is, and I'm not saying you're doing this, brother, I'm not saying it, but I'm going to deal with it as a general thing, because a lot of people have that same question that you just asked. So it's a very good question you asked, brother. And what I don't want people to do is hide behind what we call self-deliverance. We got a brother sitting here now, Brother Mike. I listened to his testimony. That's an example of self-deliverance, how he got that lust spirit off of him. That was self-deliverance. It can happen. But what people will do is they'll hear his testimony, but they won't have that same fire and that same fervor and that desire that he had. And y'all met him where his faith was at, and that spirit was able to be cast off of him, and he's been able to walk in that light for a while now. You see what I'm saying? So the majority of the people want to take the path of least resistance. So I don't push self-deliverance on people at first when they don't even understand the essence of basic deliverance. So get that down, learn that, get some help with getting these spirits cast off of you, and then you can start, once you get super mature in this, then you can start going that way. Mike had a burning desire to be set free. And the Father met him where he was. And that's why he was able to cast it off. So can a person self-deliver themselves from a spirit? Absolutely, it's possible. I just tell people don't hide behind that, because what they'll do is they'll hear that and say, okay, so then they won't go and seek help from their brethren to get the deliverance that they really, truly need, and they'll stay bound up. And that's not the goal of deliverance. Great question, Brother Isaiah. Great question.
So real fast, Elder Rufus, would you, like, when I was in deliverance with the other brothers, kind of building up what you said, it's like when you when a brother's confessing what he's dealing with, a lot of times another brother can like kind of discern and see some other things that might be attached to it. Those are some of the benefits you're talking about?
Absolutely, that too. But the thing is, you want to get some successes. You want to, not just keep it simple. Let's just say you've been dealing with pride, like most men deal with.
Mm-hmm.
You're dealing with the spirit of Leviathan. So you cry out to your brothers. They give you some help. They sit you down. They start helping you with deliverance, and they cast out, in the name of Yeshua, they cast out the spirit of Leviathan, right? Mm-hmm. And then as you walk forward in the next months, you see you're not as prideful. When the situations come up and the opportunities come for you that you would typically be very prideful, you don't operate in that. That is your proof text that spirit's been cast out. That gives you encouragement and boldness to keep going in that area and then search for these other areas that you need help in. Mm-hmm. Once you start getting some victories like that and you start maturing and you start to get an understanding of the inner workings of what's going on spiritually when it comes to deliverance, then you can start going after some self-deliverance things on some smaller stuff. You understand what I'm saying? That's the route we go. But I'm not saying that a person can't do what you did too, Mike. I don't want people being shackled because sometimes you could just be tired of Mike was tired of his sin. Really? He was tired of being a one-handed internet bandit. That's his words, not mine. He said that. He was tired of it. And he was fed up. And he said, I'm getting this spirit off me. Yeah. And he was. Mm-hmm. But he did it in the power of the Most High. He did it in the power of Yeshua. All right? Mm-hmm. He did that. So, but people will hide. I want to make sure I'm clear with that. Because they'll hear me speak. So, elder said I can do self-deliverance. So they'll never go seek real, true deliverance. Mm-hmm. And then we'll watch their life and they'll stay in bondage the whole time talking about, well, I do self-deliverance, trying to avoid the chair and keep the spirits that they have. I hope that makes sense to y'all, Saint.
Did you have anything else?
No, sir. That was just a question that I really wanted to bring up, in my spirit that I needed help with.
Very good question.
Okay, and I'll just leave you on here. I'm a mute you, but if you got another question, just raise your hand, hit the hand raise button, and I'll bring you back on. All right. So let me see what else we got here. So Elder Rufus, if you could, because that's one of the main things. Something I noticed, like when I was coming into this Hebrew awakening, I was really pressing in real hard on the spiritual aspect of things. And then I came across Elder Rakar of GOCC, came across one of his videos, and then I got into this whole Hebrew awakening thing. And lo and behold, I didn't realize, because in the Hebrew community, there's a huge void when it comes to spiritual stuff. That's why I started Spiritual Combat. And then when I linked up with you, Straightway is heavy on the spiritual. Mm-hmm. See, y'all think they're community building. You think Straightway is about community building. Tell them what they really about, Elder Rufus.
Man, we're about people being set free spiritually. We're about doing the work that we saw the Messiah do when he was here. And the disciples did when they were here. You see what I'm saying? We're about setting people free from these spirits. See, Jesus can give you the charge to go and sin no more, but he knew he had to get you free first for you to even fulfill that charge. Mm-hmm. You had to be free from your diseases. You had to be free from your spirits. All right? So that's the work that we do. So that's why the signs that the book talks about, signs follow them that believe. In our name, they will cast out devils. The sick will get healed. The dead will be raised. All this stuff follows Straightway Ministry because we are believers. We are true believers. Mm-hmm. And we want equality. We talked about that earlier. Mm-hmm. We want to have all things common. So if I'm sitting here and I'm free, you know what I'm saying? And anytime a spirit come up and I deal with it and we get it out, I want the same from my brother. Mm. But see, deliverance is a labor of love. I have to be selfless in deliverance. I got to love my brother more than I love myself at that time, because I'm looking and saying, man, my brother's hurting. He's struggling. He's bound by this spirit. And I want this thing off of him in the name of Jesus, in the name of Yeshua. Hallelujah. Mm. So, but wouldn't it be even greater for me that if I got myself free first, so that I can understand and have compassion and knowing and understanding what he's going through? You see what I'm saying? So once I got myself free, like the book tells you, you go get yourself free. Then once you free, go and help your brother. And that's what deliverance is all about. And when you've been free, you really, truly, when you love, you want to see your brethren free. I told Mike, our community do deliverance weekly. It ain't a week go by in Straightway, Georgia, that some deliverance is not going on. And it's available to the saints that come just on Shabbat, just like it is at Straightway. As soon as the service is over, we're into that level of service. Healing, deliverance, prayer, whatever's needed. And we do that. We don't break bread until everybody gets taken care of in that area. Then we'll break bread. Then we'll fellowship. That stuff is secondary.
Yeah.
But this is what we're about on a day-to-day basis. And again, we don't tout and brag and blow it up out there. Pastor was talking about the other day. He said, I used to not even show y'all deliverance. But it's time. Y'all need to see it now. So now when we do mass deliverances, y'all get to see it. For years, and I mean decades, you didn't get to see mass deliverance at Straightway. Even though we were doing it, you didn't get to see it. Now it's time for you to see it. So you can see what these devils are doing to you, how they're oppressing you, so you can get free.
And look, it's like, and I'm working on a little documentary I'm putting together to show, because and me and Elder Rufus was talking about this. He talked about, where'd you say that you ABC 1, 2, 3?
I see you an ABC 1, 2, 3.
I'm very analytical. I'm a mechanic. And I look at everything mechanically and logically. And real talk, even with the book and the spiritual, no matter what angle you come at it, you gonna, unless you got pride and you just a hard-headed person, you ain't gonna see it. But you gotta understand, because I used to really be into science and technical stuff, and then looking at how much of that stuff is fake. The amount of pseudoscience out here, and the medical system, and the psychological system, and this new age stuff is all meant to deceive you from the fact that, stuff is actually 99% spiritual out here. It'll blow your mind. And I'm talking about real stuff I've seen. And even if you want to take the long route like I took of, and a lot of y'all seen a lot of stuff I did. I went out here, went all over the Hebrew community, so-called Hebrew community, seen all this stuff. But at the end of the day, you're going to realize, dude, it's all spiritual. Like these people struggling with depression, people struggling with PTSD and all these other stuff is spirits. And they can scientific it up and drug you up with their sorcery all they want. At the end of the day, you're going to realize one way or another that it's spiritual. Like he's saying, man, you see all these shootings out here. You see even the shooting up in Jersey. Now, there was one news article that said, hey, these people were, hey, shalom, Pastor Dow. Pastor Dow's in there.
Bless you, Pastor.
You see that shooting, that there was one news article that said, hey, these people just had spirits on. They said they were demonic and this, that, and the other. That's what all this is. Like the demonic manifestations are becoming more and they're more, they're occurring more often now. So
sin is abounding.
Sin is abounding.
It's abounding.
Dude. And and they ain't got answers no more. The medication and sorcery ain't working.
It never did.
The self-help and new age crap ain't working. None of that stuff is working. Never. And folks is at their wit end. People are killing themselves out here. And folks is desperate for answers. We had a brother get delivered from a spirit of depression last week. He came in there at the beginning of the thing. He was like, at the end, he got his personality back when he left. And people seen it. It's real. Oh, yeah, man. Go ahead.
No, you hit on, Mike. You saying it true. And again, I go back to what we talked about earlier. And it's for some people, they view this as very insensitive and not caring. But why am I going to be concerned with a person that Yah is not dealing with? Okay? Just because I have feelings and affections and emotions for somebody means nothing if Yah is not dealing with them. So again, I watch what's going on in the world so we can be abreast of it, see the things of prophecy that are coming true. But I'm not concerned with the world. I'm concerned with those that the Father has given his spirit to, and they have made their way this direction. And they're doing everything they can to come out of her and to be transformed by the renewing of their mind. I'm going to give everything in me to assist them in doing that. All right? And the first thing I got to do is just be a walking, living example for them, first and foremost. So these people that are out here doing all these crazy shootings and all this stuff, I don't concern myself with them because I've done what the book says. Y'all knew they was going to be doing this crazy crap. So that's why I've pushed myself and I've come out of her. And I was admitting to Mike in my testimony, I didn't know what come out of her meant when he said it. So I leaped. I got more wisdom now on it. I would instruct brothers to do it a lot differently than I did it. But I leaped out. But again, my faith had made me whole because y'all met me where my faith was at. So when I was out here driving all around this country, looking for the people of Yah for 3 years, trying to find Pastor Down and the Saints of Straightway, I didn't know that's who it was at the time. But that's who I was looking for. Yah was meeting my faith where I was at because I trusted in him. So your faith needs to be stirred up. You need to get filled with the Ruach so that you can stir up that gift and have that great communication between you and the Father that the Hasidim can't get in and interfere with. So that you can start really receiving this power to go out and do his work. But if you don't get yourself set free first, see, he who the Son sets free is free indeed. You got to receive the gift that Jesus gave you. The work he did on the tree for you. You got to receive that first and foremost. And then when you start walking in faith, power will follow you because you're a believer. And you'll be an assistant and a help to your brother. I'm not concerned about this world. I don't care what they're doing in the inner cities of New Jersey. I don't care what they're doing in the inner cities of Jacksonville, Florida. I don't give a shit what they do. I'm sorry. I don't give a care what they're doing in the cities of Atlanta. Right. You name the city. I don't care. Because if you wise and you reading this book and you seeing the signs of the time, you're going to get away from that so that you could be hidden in the secret place of the Most High Yah. Right. Now, you can say that spiritual and stay in the cities. Do your thing. Do your thing. We'll see what happens in the end. Right. We're going to come out. We're going to teach each other to be self-sufficient. We're going to teach each other how to manage without this system. So like right now, if the system go down, all the straightway communities are fine. We got food. We got water. We can cook without having their electricity. All the communities can do that. Can you? They cut your electricity off. They cut your water off. Can you? Can you still function? Can you still make it? You're not prepared.
Only person in a lot of these ministries and assemblies out here, the only person who's going to be prepared is going to be that person you giving all that money to. That's it.
Yeah. And even that fool won't be prepared.
Nope.
Because he's going to take that money that he's getting from you and try to store it up in a foolish way. He gonna want to go hide in a bunker where the mountain's gonna come down on top of him. You see what I'm saying? He ain't finna be preserved. Not in foolishness, he's not. No. He not. But he's raking you because you lazy and you love your demons and you want to take the path of least resistance and you like your ears being itched. You like goosebumps coming on your arms all the time, but they don't make you go out and do nothing. You see what I'm saying? It ain't about emotionalism. It ain't. It's about production. All right? Real men produce, they provide, and they protect. They do that. All right? That's what they do.
Right. All right, man. That's good, man. So, yeah, man, we get ready to wrap it up. We got to get ready for the Florida Shabbat. We get ready to have it. We get ready to head over there. We looking forward to it. But, yeah, man, I can tell by the comments in there that this show was a blessing and an eye-opener to a lot of people. I knew it'd be good to have Elder Rufus on here to really come straight down the middle, man. Let's see. So, yeah, if y'all can, definitely hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share this, get the word out, man. It's that time, man. We got to wake our people up, man. Everybody wants the people who are saying things now, the people who are speaking truth that make you know, it's uncomfortable truth sometimes to come to the realization of. But, you know, there's a concerted effort out there to paint them as evil, even though we challenge you to compare everything that was said today to what's in the book. It's very surface level. This is basic. This is basic. So y'all need to be leery of these people who do all this verbal tap dancing and verbal jujitsu and scriptural. I'm deep. In the Hebrew it means this, that, and other, and all this stuff like that. You need to be leery. This is very basic. He's not the author of confusion. Now it is of him to hide a matter, but the stuff he wants to make known is very basic. You don't need some philosopher teaching you all this stuff to understand what he's saying. It's real simple. Like Elder Rufus said, you know, you read that Acts chapter 2 and Acts chapter 4, it's pretty straightforward. Elder Rufus, did you have anything?
Shalom. Shabbat shalom. Bless y'all.
All right, y'all. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take it out with the jam from Beloved Dawood that I brought it in with, unrelated. All right?
Yeah. Whew. My coach. Family. Yeah. For real. Whew. Yeah. How you gonna say we relate when we can never relate? How you gonna say we relate when we can never relate? How you gonna say we related when we can never relate? How you gonna say we related when we can never relate? How you gonna say we related when we can never relate? How you gonna say we related when we can never relate? How you gonna say we related when we can never relate? How you gonna say we related when we can never relate? Who is my mother, my brother? They do the will of my father. I studied the law like a lawyer. Applying the law make it royal. The world is so overrated. I don't see what is the biggie. Everybody say they made it. Cut it, spit a couple pennies. Piece of who'll give me plenty. Negative, get a shit. You should learn how to look. Who the true, who the crook. If it's right while you're hiding, who said be a lie? Death is lurking, but I'm driving. Had to switch on the brights. Nobody's playing somebody's. Hey, what's really going on? A pure soul in this body. Couldn't fit it in a clone. They say my face is like a stone. Tell them all I mean business. Everybody say you're wrong before they ever take a listen. If it's yours, I don't want it. I don't touch it unless I own it. You should get it by your who. All that other stuff is phony. Lost religion, found a coach. No explain, watch me do it. Watch the fire, it'll roast. Grown man should've known it. How you gonna say we relate when we can never relate? How you gonna say we relate when we can never relate?